What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? Listen, I know. First of all, I'm at work, obviously. And it's a Saturday, and it's a week later, and that's why I look so rough because, girl, it's hot outside. So I had to pull the hair back. But anyway, I was just able to finish looking at and catching up on Beyond the Gates. What was it? Episode 79 to 83. And we're not going to be on here long. I'm just really looking forward to next week's episodes, okay? So, let's just get into it a little bit, okay? What I will say is Leslie is silly, okay? At this point, Leslie is really, really silly because how do you come upon somebody who is literally doing an investigation on you and talking about how about you just let me be a part of this investigation too, since, you keep on saying that it's me and we can come up with some stuff. No. Okay, no, I need her to go about her merry old day. Okay, then in the last episode, when she actually had that sit down with Eva, okay, it was just basically like, my bad for bringing you into all of this stuff. I'm just sitting here reminiscing about the good times and, realizing the fact that even when we didn't have anything, we still had good times and it was better than this. And, I'm lonely right now. And I'm sitting here like, girl, this is all of your fault, okay? I just wanted somebody that was going to be my man, that was going to be going to be the one that was going to be for me, and I thought that was going to be Ted, and come to find out it wasn't. And then if it wasn't that person, you are literally allowing, girl, I got a bump on my lip. Is that a bump? No, it's not. It's a whitehead. I got to bust it, but I really don't want to. It hurts. Don't pay no attention to it. Okay, but my whole thing is, if you realize that the person that you want to be with or you thought was supposed to be your person is not your person, why are you allowing yourself, you're literally devoiding yourself from that affection and that love from somebody that was supposed to be your person, because you keep focusing heavily on this other person, and at the end of the day, what is it doing to you but hurting you even more because you're still by yourself? And then you got the people around you that is hating you because of the stuff that you're doing, including your child. Eva may say that she don't dislike her mama, she don't hate her mama, but she feels some type of way, okay? Her saying that, I'm not going to not show up. I would at least tell you if I'm not going to show up. I'm still going to be here for you. Listen, Eva, you a little bit too good for me, okay? Because if my mama would have did some stuff like that and I realized the severity of it, and then you're truly hurting people and it's all on your delusion and you're feeding me lies and stuff. Granted, I'm grown as hell, and in that midst of me being grown as hell, I still would have been like, bye-bye, girl. Listen, we ain't got nothing to talk about. It's over, it's done with, because not only did you mess up your life, you could have messed up my life. You know what I'm saying? But she probably still doing this because her life is improving a little bit. But let's just talk about Eva and Ted. Ted, let me tell you something. Nepotism, and the nepotism is coming on way too strong. Now listen, I'm all the way here for black nepotism when it works right, okay? When it goes well and I see the potential. There is a difference between being a secretary for, somebody like Nicole, where you don't really have to do much. All she doing is scheduling patients and, making sure this is on the book, making sure that is on the book, then going to an actual doctor who has a practice and doing medical billing, because there are people who go to school for medical billing, okay? And I get that Eva is she's smart, I get it, but mama ain't that cute with this, all right? And even with Kat, I feel like, Kat said that she, even though she didn't go to school for it, but she been studying under Ted. So she knows the layout, she knows what to do and all of that. She got the skills and she was able to hone those skills. You throwing Eva up into this whole thing as if she's supposed to already know this. Now Kat got to come in and teach her and all this stuff, and she's so confused because let me tell you something. I'm listening to what he talking about, the payroll, all of this stuff. I don't want to be responsible for that, okay? And what if I make a mistake? And I'm just sitting here listening. I'm confused as shit, all right? Medical billing and the codes that you got to learn and all that stuff just to make sure everything is correct. People don't want to play about their money. People don't want to play about scheduling, all of that stuff, okay? That's a lot of responsibility, for somebody that don't know how those things go. And Eva, once you left out that first time, you should have stayed gone. Okay, you had your little temper tantrum. Nicole was nice enough to tell you, girlfriend, listen, when you was working with me, yeah, everything was cute. It wasn't just because I liked you or whatever, but you actually was doing some things. It's a difference between Nicole's office and between Ted's office, and you can clearly see Nicole obviously didn't really have that much to do. Nicole is dealing with mental health and stuff like that, but Ted is dealing with motherfuckers in their health, okay? Like surgery and just probably way more. It's way more active, way more fast paced than what she was doing over there with, Nicole. Nicole was just basically, she was like a secretary to Nicole, okay? You're literally doing medical billing over there with Ted, and I really don't feel like this is going to work out. I don't know if they were trying to hope for this to be a moment for her and Kat to become cool. I don't think that's ever going to happen, because what I'm seeing is going to happen is Eva going to wind up fucking Tomas. I'm sorry, but I see it, because listen, I don't know if what happened between Kat and Tomas was because he actually had real feelings for her and he just did not want to, be that first to take her virginity and all that stuff, or if it's because he still got feelings for Eva too and he's a little conflicted. Because I think honestly, Eva and him has more chemistry. Eva and him has more things in common. You know what I'm saying? They're more like everyday people, more humanistic, more down to earth. That's the words, down to earth. And it's like they never had anything, so they're building themselves up and working to what they have instead of what Kat has. And Kat already was born with this silver spoon in her mouth. And I'm gonna need Leslie to stop bringing it up, because at the end of the day, you can't come at her because of what she was brought into. Just because your daughter wasn't brought into it, that ain't her problem, and that's not her fault that her parents were actually well off and brought her up in this world the way that they brought her up. You know what I'm saying? That's not her. Okay, I'm supposed to be ashamed that I got money? I'm supposed to be ashamed that I was born with privilege? No. Especially if I'm using it for good? Absolutely not. Okay, so you can get off my ass about that. But when Kat said, listen, boy, I really want you to be my first and I want you to do it right here, right now. And I said, damn, Kat, on the goddamn couch. Kat said, yeah. Tomas said no. And I was surprised by that. He couldn't do it. Like, he was conflicted, and Kat felt some type of way. And I said, Kat, this is a good sign, okay? That means that this is not the person that you need to be with right about now, okay? Because he's trying to spare you. Heed those warnings, all right? When he don't even like the way that, Kat interacts with Eva, you know what I'm saying, the way that she be down talking her and everything. And I'm pretty sure if she says something else negative, it's going to push him more so towards Eva. We saw the interaction when she came over there to them at the country club and they started talking about the book. Then we saw when she came up into the restaurant after the whole situation went down. Yeah, there is more so of a connection and like a somewhat natural connection between Tomas and Eva than it is with Kat and Tomas. Kat and Tomas feels very forced to me, Moving on from that, speaking of forced, okay, this whole situation with Chelsea and Miss Maddie, Chelsea and Madison, girlfriend, let me tell you something. This week, or this past week, because no episodes came on this past week, so this is the week before, which I don't understand why we didn't get no episodes this past week, but hey, okay. But Madison actually loosened up a little bit more for me with Chelsea, but at the same time, Something is in the back of it's tickling the back of my brain, and I always got to keep it there for Madison, okay? But she was a little bit more looser. She was a little bit more outgoing. She was a little bit more expressive. She wasn't so held back like she was searching and trying to figure out if this is real or something like that. You know, telling her that she was late for the date because some boy threw up on her clothes and she had to take a shower and her phone got messed up and all that stuff. And she is, you know, revealing that she's a leapfrogger, going from one relationship to the next and all that stuff when she realized that the relationship is not going to work because that person dumps her. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't take their time. And I'm like, y'all acting like real lesbians, okay? Because listen, y'all hop into this relationship real quick and y'all in love and y'all ain't even been together that long, all right? But I do feel like in the episode that we saw with Madison, she is getting a little bit more comfortable with Chelsea. And right when things was going well, you know, talking about Chelsea and her dad and are you out to him and all of that stuff, and we realized that Chelsea doesn't have that she has a strong relationship with Bill, but it's not as strong as it is with Naomi because, you know, Naomi is literally Bill Jr. in every way, you know, except for the fact that she's a woman. That's just it. But in the midst of them talking and getting to know each other, going through that phase of trying to get to know each other, even though they flirt and they ready to go eat the cat, literally, they rather go sit and eat the cat, okay? Girl, somebody was up in there. Madison noticed that some chick was up in there looking at them. Who the fuck it was? Allison. And let me tell you something, Allison, this is how it always goes. You fucking now I'ma need Chelsea to stop. She keeps saying things like, you know, her last relationship and, you know, you wasn't in a relationship with them people, okay? Yeah, I was just messing around. It was just a little play thing, okay? You wanted a relationship with Allison. Allison didn't want that because of her husband. So we've been told, okay? Now the way Allison came over there trying to talk to Chelsea and the way Madison allowed them to have that little conversation. Now listen, I get you, Madison. You showing, okay, I ain't got nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? You want to have your little conversation, That was very big of you. But baby, I would have been sitting over there by the bar, okay? Because I know how the girls are. And the way that she popped back in and she saw how they were, yeah, Madison be a little bit concerned because now Allison want to come back and say, girl, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, I really didn't want to fuck around with you, but my husband had said, now either we gonna break up or you gonna if I mess around with you, we gonna break up if I do this solo thing. And I chose my husband, and I should have, because he like so grumpy and mean and all this stuff. Chelsea said, well, what the hell you want me to do about it? I mean, my brother is in the police department. You want to call him or whatever? My brother-in-law is in the police department. You want to call him or whatever? She said, no, girl, it ain't on that level yet, but... And I said, but what? You saw her with her girl, and you really still finna come and step to her and be like, bitch, I still want to explore that. And Chelsea don't be a weak bitch and be like, okay, girlfriend, because if she hurt you that way the first time, she gonna hurt you even worse. Trust and believe, I know, okay? Not saying that I was the one that did it, but, you know, trust and believe, that's just how we are, okay? And I'm gonna tell you this, when it comes to lesbians, it's always that one ex. And I know this could be true for just about any particular relationship, but especially when it comes to lesbians. It's always that one particular ex or that one particular little thing that we had situationship that just won't go away. And when I mean just won't go away, yeah, I moved on. But it's a possibility I can double back a few times. You know, I like the way they did this. I like the way they did that. And I want you to be in the background just in case I need you to scratch a scratch. Okay? Scratch this little itch right here. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. That's really just how it is. And that is what Allison is doing to her right about now. And I'm going to need Allison to go. Okay? Because we trying to get on this Madison train, even though with something scratching back there that just... I don't know, okay? I don't need you. You're just as toxic. You're toxic, and I need you to leave too. Meanwhile, speaking of toxicity, Danny and Andre, baby, this is really what I can't wait for next week. Andre, Nicole. Everybody telling Nicole she need to chill the fuck out, okay? She need to chill the fuck out. You are projecting your hurt onto everybody else. All right, Mad at Ted because he didn't tell her about Andre and Danny. Honestly, I'm not even going to give Ted that, okay? Ted didn't have to tell her about that, in my opinion, because those are grown adults, right? And technically speaking, they aren't doing anything wrong because they're not blood related. He's related to you by marriage, okay? But he's not related to Danny or any of the other Duprees, besides Kat and Martin, all right? That's it. That's it. And your husband and you. So they're not doing anything wrong, and it's their responsibility to tell you, okay? So I can't necessarily get mad at Ted for saying something because technically speaking, Andre did tell the person that he's actually related to by blood, and that is Ted, his uncle. So he ain't really do nothing wrong, but I get it. She frustrated as hell. She felt like everybody just holding back and telling secrets and, holding secrets from her and all this stuff. Meanwhile, so she cussing out Andre. Girl, Mama Dupree done came back. Anita done came back. Girl, I was surprised when she told Danny, go ahead and do what you gotta do, boo-boo. You deserve it at this point. I know it ain't nothing serious, but hey, you as long as you ain't fucking around with Bill, hey, do what you gotta do. And then when Nicole found out, Nicole was pissed. I said, you know what, I get it. Ted, let me tell you something. Now, when she had that conversation with Ted, because Ted was about to tell her the truth about what was going on with Martin, he couldn't even get to do that because she felt like, she brought this whole situation up. Baby, when he was like, I'm up here trying to get back with you, but you don't want me to, okay? You putting yourself up so high, you putting the standards up so high, and you want me to do this and you want me to do that. When he said, come off your pedestal, little princess. I don't know. He said, if the princess can come down off her pedestal and meet me halfway, then maybe we can get somewhere, okay? But you don't let that. And something about him saying that thing about the princess and the coming down off her pedestal at the end of that comment, that whole conversation, because he was reading her. And you know what? I understand Nicole being pissed off, and I want her to still be pissed off. But in that moment, bitch, I said, Nicole, I mean, he got a point. Maybe you need to just... I was like, God damn, Teddy. I wasn't looking at Teddy like that, but Teddy, that line did something to me. I said, you know what? I would have said, drop him. Okay, like, get down on your knees. No, you keep them on, but you get down on your knees and you finish. Okay, finish me off. Because I know that kind of made... That did something to Nicole. Because, bitch, it did a little something to me. I said, damn, Ted. That's a line. That's a line. It just take a line. It really do. And not that type of line. Okay, just the words. Just the words. It was just, I just like it when somebody can put me in my place. That's just really what it is. And so, Nicole, you kind of need that. Because they was like, everybody walking on pins and needles around you. They scared of you and they're scared to say stuff to you and all this stuff. And I said, now, hold on, Teddy. Don't try to flip it on her. But then when he did that shit, I said, well, hold on a minute, Ted. All right. So you got that going on. And Andre over here finna play around with Ashley. Ashley and him finna go on a date. I just can't wait till when Danny come up in there and see them together, bitch. Cause Nicole had to tell her, why you not... And Nicole, let me ask you this question. Why you think that just because a person is together with somebody, they gotta be out on full display? Oh, you supposed to be with him if you thinking you serious with him or whatever. How come you ain't been at the country club out with him? Girl, cause I don't want the whole town to know my goddamn business. It's a whole bunch of shit that's already been going on about me as it is. Maybe I need a little bit of privacy, okay? I don't need to be parading around that I got a new nigga that ain't really my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We just playing around, okay? But yeah, when Danny snapped at that, I can't wait. Now let's talk about Danny. Danny was right the whole time. Danny is psychotic as hell. And I love it. I love it. I don't know. Something about her psychoticness, it really brings something to the show, okay? For some people, it's becoming annoying. It could be annoying. But for me, it's just the right amount, okay? Because it's like, girl... It's funny because like, bitch, I get it, and I really don't feel like she's really just psychotic like that. It's just because of the situation, you know what I'm saying? And when Bill came over there to the crib after after Danny had that scene where she was trying to go through the modeling stuff or whatever, and going through the contracts, and then she's hallucinating that Bill was there, and then Pam said, bitch, if you pick up that goddamn phone and you call that man, leave that motherfucker alone. So you need a friend like Pam that's gonna snap your ass back into reality, okay, and tell you what the truth is. That man don't want you. That man hurt you. Put the goddamn phone down, okay? Delete his fucking number. That type of situation. But then she left. And then all of a sudden, Bill was back there on her couch. And I said, bitch, I know this is not a real scene. This has got to be a dream, a hallucination or something. No, bitch, it was real. It was real. Bill was on the couch, and he literally apologized a little bit for the way that he wronged her and treated her. And he was like, bitch, I really thought in my mind that you was over and done with this, and that's why I went on here with Haley. Like, we could have went on ahead and I could have kept on cheating and all this shit, and still came back to you, but I didn't think that you wanted that. I thought that you wanted. No, bitch, you hurt me, because Vernon had called his ass out. And I don't know, for some reason, for Vernon saying it to him, that's what made him go over there to Danny's house and basically tell her all that shit. I mean, he was getting choked up and everything. And I'm sitting here like, bitch, what is going on? Because you stroked it out, and now all of a sudden you got sensibility about yourself. And he was like, the way that you was at the hospital with me, the way that you was so concerned. And I'm telling you, he gonna fuck around and cheat on Haley with her. Okay? Bitch, is speaking of Haley, she get upset and in her feelings because she found out that Bill was over there at Danny's house, and went down there trying to track him down. Okay, girl. And she wound up getting told off by Danny and wound up having cramps. And Danny had to take her ass to the hospital. Bitch, Danny was up in that hospital. First of all, Ashley is over Danny already. Because, she was like, listen, girl, leave that lady alone, okay? She's up there having cramps. She's up there miscarriage. And Danny said, bitch, fuck that hoe. That Invisifetus. Bitch, when she said that, I was sitting at the desk chuckling. I was just like, Invisifetus? That is so funny. You're quick with it, Danielle. And basically, she was like, the lady is not pregnant. But then Danny, no, Bill finally comes down there. Haley is up there talking about we saw the ultrasound, and the little boy is good, and it's a fetus, but it's like the size of an apricot, and all that stuff, and woo. The doctor comes in like everything is cool, they can be dismissed. Bill said, I want to see the ultrasound. And she said, I know that that's what you wanted. We took a video and I'll email it. And as soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, she's not pregnant. So when she comes out and Bill tells Danny, we're 10 weeks along, my baby is still coming. Danny was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, prove me wrong, I guess. And I said, Danny, don't give up that easily. Don't give up that easily. Baby, when Ashley said, can I get the ultrasound from one of the nurses or whatever? And the nurse said, we didn't do an ultrasound on her. She opted out of it. Mind you, Ashley thought Danny was just crazy. Okay, putting on the way that she was putting on. And come to find out, no, she's not. That bitch is not pregnant. And I've been telling y'all she's not pregnant. Meanwhile, this whole situation with Martin and that man, first of all, the way that Vernon came at Bill and tried to put him in his place, and he did. Bill, you want to act like you ain't got no parts in nothing, and that you built your stuff hand by hand, brick by brick, without the Dupree help, without Vernon help. Vernon had to let you know, bitch, I helped you get this shit, and I'll help you take that shit down, okay? Don't fucking play with me. Now, I had you in charge of this whole situation with Martin, and you was supposed to take care of him. You dropped the fucking ball, because hit his motherfucker back, okay? And so, that dude is trying to get $100,000 out of freaking Martin, and then want to keep on having money come just about every week or so. And he's so goddamn racist, and he's so in his feelings about the fact that this black man, these black people are in a better stature of life than him, because technically speaking, in his mind, I'm pretty sure you niggers ain't supposed to be able to have all this type of power. Absolutely not over me. And remember, did you hear when he called himself a good old boy? We know what that means. We know what that means, okay? That phrase. And so basically, it was a meeting of the niggas. They had to come together. Bill, Martin, Vernon, Ted, because he saw it. Jacob Daddy, you know, and Joey and Malone, okay? And so, what's the name? Marcel. They all had to come together because they got to take care of this problem, because they all helped, do this whole thing. Mind you, all of this shit happened 2 years ago. So no wonder why he's still having fresh PTSD, Martin. And Martin gonna fuck shit up if he don't just let people do what they gotta do. They set it up so that they can have him come to the Lakeview Casino or whatever, and he gonna pop up. And I'm like, leave, let Bill handle this. Now the way that Bill, now listen, bitch, I ain't never look at Bill like that either, but when he told old boy off, I said, Daddy, I kind of see what you saw a little bit. Okay? And basically Joey gonna have Randy fuck up that white man. Okay, because they like, no, we not finna have this. I said you have to eliminate the problem, because this is the type of situation that is not gonna go away. All right, you give him money, he's gonna keep coming back, because now he knows that he has you better balls. You have to kill him. Okay, I'm just sorry to put it out there. Put some concrete boots on him and throw him in the water. All right, concrete, cement, all of that shit, right? But it's crazy. And Smitty is finding this shit out. Jacob is undercovering a whole bunch of stuff with Smitty too. And it's just about to be a mess. All right. And I need Martin to just go ahead and tell him. Just go ahead and tell him before Smitty finds out. For real. And then it really affects your marriage. Okay. Jacob, I'm sorry. Your daddy is not the good guy in this situation. Nobody is doing nothing under his nose. He is part of it. But that's all that I remember. That's all that I got from it. I'm sorry I was late, but I'm here. We'll be back on track next week. I needed a break. I ain't even gonna hold you. I needed a break. And it was a lot of stuff that was going on last week too. Yeah, it is. But you guys tell me how it is, how you felt, what you think's gonna happen. And thanks for hanging in there with me. And I will see you guys later. If I missed anything, let's discuss it in the comments, okay? This ain't the normal reviews that I give, like really thorough, but I'm at work, so I'm time constricted, and I gotta go back downstairs on the desk, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.